After I finished veterinary school, I interviewed and got a job at the U.S. Meat Animal Research Center. The mission of the U.S. MARC is to support meat production. The belief was if an animal is growing and reproducing, that its animal welfare is fine. There's a saying in animal science that production equals reproduction. And I actually believed that as well at the time. I didn't grow up on a farm, I didn't have a background in animal science, and I think I just drank the Kool-Aid. I don't believe that anymore. Back in 1989, there was a cow that was down, and she was put in a pen with 6 bulls. They allowed these bulls for at least the previous 24 hours to mount her continuously, and that led to her breaking her tendons. She was all beat up, she was in shock. I said, "You need to euthanize this animal." The cowboy said, "I can't do that. I have to contact the scientists first." I knew from my veterinary training how to do libido test a bull. It's 1 bull with 1 in-heat animal for 15 minutes. So I knew that 6 bulls for 24 hours is not correct. But I also knew, because they had to call the scientist, it was an approved experiment. Who in God's name would approve something like that? I got a call a couple hours later that the cow had died. How animals are treated at MARC depends on what species you are, partly. And I think the sheep get the worst care. Right now there's about 3 million breeding sheep. 10 years ago there were about 9 million. So basically, sheep are going extinct in the US. Easy Care project was to figure out a way to raise sheep that minimizes the inputs, the labor and the housing, which all cost money. They treat sheep basically as if they're wild animal on their own, and they're no longer empowered biologically to live as a wild animal, and as a consequence, huge numbers, thousands and thousands over the years, have died of starvation or coyotes or freezing to death. If you've got 12 years of data, why would you keep doing that? That's the part I don't understand. When I was aware of things, if I saw my boss, I would tell him. As far as I know, nothing ever happened. MARC cannot be trusted based on the thousands of animals over the years that have been treated poorly. If you have a domestic animal, now it's dependent on people. We've taken away their survival skills, so they should have a short life, but it should be a good life. And I don't think a good life is defined by just reproducing and growing. There's more to it than that.